Hello, this is Dr. David Chow, ProFootballDoc.com, and let's look ahead to week 3, our first look ahead to week 3. When we get there here, a lot of quarterback injuries. Let's start talking about quarterback injuries today. Tyrod Taylor with his hamstring will not play. Too quick of a turnaround for this Thursday game against the Panthers. I will actually be in Houston for that game. Tua Tagovailoa, left lower ribs, probably not going to practice, could still potentially play next week with rib block injections. Baker Mayfield, dislocated or subluxed his shoulder with likely labral tear, finished the game with a harness, will play the rest of the season with a harness. It's his left shoulder, otherwise this would be a huge deal. Other quarterbacks have played through the season with that, including Mitch Trubisky. Trevor Lawrence did in college as well and had surgery in the offseason. Baker Mayfield probably the same. Andy Dalton may have lost his job for good to Justin Fields to a knee issue. He heroically returned to play after the knee issue for a couple of plays. But by video, there's worry for maybe a partial ACL. So far, the Bears say no. They say the ACL is okay so far, but they hedge saying an MRI needed. I hope not for Andy Dalton, but that limited video that we saw along the sideline there is suspicious for some sort of at least shift of the knee, partial ACL. Carson Wentz turned his ankle, didn't finish the game. I think he could have, but wasn't as mobile. Jacob Eason came in first play and threw a pick. Carson Wentz will depend on how swollen that ankle is. It's the other side from the foot surgery earlier this offseason. It depends on swelling if Carson Wentz can play. And prior to the injury, he actually started to look more mobile. Matt Stafford jammed his thumb, the thumb he had surgery on this offseason, but he should be okay. He always plays through. As far as running backs, Christian McCaffrey gave everyone a scare going off with calf issues, but it really was a calf cramp. He returned to the game, no issues. He will play on Thursday. Other major injuries to talk about, Cleveland Browns at wide receiver, Jarvis Landry with an MCL early on to his knee. No surgery, going to be a quick turnaround, hard to play that next week. Does this mean that Odell Beckham will finally get suited up at less than 100% out of necessity? The Steelers have a lot of injuries now. They came in with Joe Hayden out with a groin, and Devin Bush out with a groin. Now TJ Watt is out with a groin. Going to be hard turnarounds for them and hard to come back at their skill positions in terms of cutting and getting around the edge and covering sideline to sideline with those groins. But also Tyson Alalu, nose tackle, high ankle sprain, severe enough to actually have a fracture associated, distal fibular fracture, out for the season. And then the Eagles, the Brandons, Brooks on the offensive side at guard and Graham on the defensive side, both with tendon ruptures. Pec tendon, what it seems like for Brandon Brooks, and Brandon Graham with an Achilles tendon rupture as well as ankle sprain, but that's mild compared to the Achilles tendon rupture. Both likely surgery and season over. Bradley Chubb, same ankle that he came into the season with. He missed week 1, played week 2, but only very limited and out again. So it's hard to see him back next week. So some matchups this week. We talked about Carolina at Houston. CMC will play. Tyrod Taylor will not. Indianapolis Colts at Tennessee Titans. Carson Wentz, will he or won't he play? We'll see how the ankle swelling goes. And Taylor Lewan for the Titans, although they just won in overtime here. His ACL on his right knee, tested it out pregame, didn't make it. Whether he re-injured it or it was just sore, he was limping pretty good. He was in t-shirt and shorts when they ruled him out, so he never even made it to the active roster. So in terms of pregame there, formal pregame, but he was out. Bengals at Pittsburgh, we talked about the Steelers' defensive injuries. 4 key defenders that are out or injured that we just mentioned. Joe Burrow had a little regression game, but his knee is okay. Miami Dolphins at Las Vegas Raiders. Tua with the ribs, will he or won't he be able to play? And even if he can play without practice, where is he really at? And of course Mariota with his quad, the backup, is out for 3 weeks on IR. Then the Monday night game, Eagles at the Cowboys. The Cowboys pulled off a big win. Look, they did pretty well today against the Chargers without three of their four defensive linemen. Austin Eckler tore them up a little bit, but they plugged the hole with Micah Parsons moving up to D end and Leighton Vander Esch behind him. And their O-line blocked better than we thought, with the right tackle Terrence Steele stepping in for La'el Collins and Zach Martin coming back. So big Monday night NFC East game. The Philadelphia Eagles are the banged up side now, going to have to adjust without Brandon Brooks and Brandon Graham. All right, still Sunday night football still to go tonight. We're still early on, and then the Monday night game. Well, the Pro Football Doc podcast tomorrow, but we always like to give you a next week, which is now week 3, look ahead. Thanks for watching this week, and thanks for bearing with us with our technical difficulties with DirecTV during the Sunday games today. Thank you.